Hello there, Master Hellish here, and welcome to things that I did wrong in OpenTTD. Back at the beginning of the year, I did a video about OpenTTD mistakes that the Yogscast made in one of their live streams. Well, the other night I played in a live stream hosted by the Spiff in Brit, and now it's my turn. Now, I've been playing OpenTTD for a very, very long time, and I've got a good bit of knowledge about it. However, I'm not perfect, and I, just like anyone else, make mistakes too. Now, at the end of the video, I'll tell you about a bonus treat that I've got. But for now, once again, for the purposes of entertainment and to learn about playing OpenTTD, let's look at 10 things that I did wrong in Spiff's game of OpenTTD. First up, we have playing the long game. Now, I'm used to doing tutorial videos, update videos, and long Let's Plays, full series from start to finish, as well as viewers' games on my channel, which are usually somewhere in the region of 4, 6, or even 10 or more hours long. Here, this live stream wasn't as long, and my tactic to go in like this was not good. I was trying to grow cities, which, you know, over the long term would have net me lots and lots of lovely passengers in the relatively efficient stations I was building. I'd have been able to get trains in and out, shifting all those passengers and make lots and lots of money. However, it was not such a long game, and I should have realised that a better tactic would have been to go for shorter, quicker wins to get the profit in quicker and faster earlier on. This massive failure in tactics put me in a bad starting position throughout the first half of the game, and was compounded by the fact that halfway through the server crashed and we restarted, so I lost my long-term goal progress. Should have gone quicker and faster. Now, if you would like to check out the tutorial series to learn more about how to play OpenTTD, I've got a link for you in the video description. Number 2. Signal spacing. Now, in a non-competitive game, and if you're playing with infrastructure maintenance turned off, as it is in the default game, then it's a good idea to have signals close together, just like we've got here. If you've got your signals further apart, then your trains travel further apart, and they can't get as bunched in and as much throughput on your line. You can see here that with signals closer together, your trains can travel closer together. However, this was a competitive game, and I shouldn't have done that. So here you can see that you would end up spending a lot more on signals, 3 times as much, just to get them close together. And at the beginning of a competitive game, you're not going to have massive amounts of trains going down the line. You don't need this amount of signal spacing. Yeah, you could do it later if you like. But here I should have gone with longer signal spacing, as it was completely unnecessary to have the small one, and I would have saved a lot of money on signals. Now, if you'd like to see me play in a full series, then I have Series 10 Let's Play on my channel, and you can find a link to that in the video description too. Number 3. Running out of trains. You can't buy a railway vehicle, too many vehicles in the game.
I was able to... it's a personal limit and it should be 30.
Oh, it's reduced, is it?
Yep, we reduced it.
It's reduced.
Damn, what are we going to do? So yes, we were playing a game with reduced vehicles, and I'd never done that before. And if you think about it, it makes sense. If you're going to invite 100 people to come and play on one server, you're going to have to put some vehicle restrictions on those companies so that the game doesn't grind to a halt with the whole world full of vehicles. So this was a good thing that the limit was there. The bad thing is that I didn't even check to see what game settings we were playing on or how to deal with it. So if I'd have known and bothered to have a look at the settings, then I would have used length 7 trains, and I'd have made them go longer distances to make better use out of the trains that I did have. Number 4. Forgetting diagonals. Now, when you're playing a standard game of OpenTTD, it doesn't really matter too much. But in a competitive game where everything gives you the edge, I should have remembered this. The amount of income you get depends on how far you go and how quickly you did it. And here's some example of some cargo payment rates. Now, the interesting thing here is that the game measures the distance between the stations in Manhattan distance. so displayed on the screen here like this. So the game is calculating the distance between these two stations as just over 60 squares and will pay you based on the speed that you get there. Now I've used a diagonal here to go straight across, and I'm going a much shorter distance, so the game is going to be impressed at how far I went down those 60 squares and then give me more money. Doing these sort of diagonal connections are much better than doing, say for example, a straight line that follows those Manhattan grid lines. You'll get a little less money from doing that. I should have remembered this, and I should have used diagonals. Now if you're new here and you're thinking, hey, this Master Hellish fella, he's fantastic, you can find out more about me at masterhellish.net. All the links to my different contents on there, as well as my social media and all of that stuff. And at number 5 we have building on farmland. This one is a simple one, and if money is short, especially in a competitive game, then you'd want to try and avoid building on farmland. And unfortunately, I did a lot of it. I completely ignored the farmland and built straight through it. So if I'm sat here in 1969 and I build a piece of track, it's going to cost me £90. But if I do it on farmland, it costs me £450. Look at the price difference between this section of track of length 7, 630 quid, and this down here is £3,150. Save that money by going around the farmland at the beginning of the game. You can spend it on more vehicles or more track and make even more money. Number 6. Going straight to electric trains. Now this one depends on your start year in the game. If you're earlier in the game, you don't even have the option of electric, and if you're in later in the game, then the diesel trains are broken down and unreliable. But we started in the year 1969 or thereabouts, and you can see here that a piece of standard track cost me £90. But I went with electric track, and a piece of that will cost £127. Quite a premium for the electric. Now are the electric trains better? Well, technically yes they are. If we go to available trains here and look in the list, the electric trains are much faster and have more power. However, they're only a little bit faster, and with the reliability that's similar to a UU diesel, you still have a small downturn in speed but a big reduction in cost. The UU diesel is only 2/3 of the price of the electric train. Now in the long term, you're going to use electric because it is better, but in the early game, you should probably start with diesel because you can get more trains down quicker and save money for better, bigger, longer, faster lines. Next up is poor depot placement. Now this one I did on purpose, but I wanted to point it out because I want you to know the best way of doing it, not the way that I did do it. So when I was building my tracks, I was trying to get depots down quickly. I was placing them on the main line like this so that the trains could access them if they needed and move on if they didn't. Now this is a quick and easy way and it will work, but it is not efficient. If you have the time and you have the money, you should build lines off your main line like this, and then place your depots like this so that the trains can go off to one side and then into the depot. Note that this section of track here leading into your depot and this one leading out of your depot should be at least as long as your train lengths to allow them to come off the line before going into the depot, because going into the depot slows the train down. And if you're doing it like this, it also means you can do double depots, which are even more efficient. Number 8. Add in useless roads. Now adding roads to a city like I'm doing here in the live stream will help the city grow, so that is good. However, I am adding way too much here and it's way too early in the game. I'm spending time and money adding roads far out away from the city that the city is just not going to use yet. Maybe I could have added a tiny bit, but this is just way too much. And even worse, some of it goes over farmland, like, as we learned earlier in the video, is a really expensive thing to do. So what a waste of time and money that was. And at number 9 we've got not doing mail. During the live stream I was moving passengers about everywhere. I had loads of passenger stations and I was so zoned in and focused on that I completely forgot about the mail. Here we've got a passenger station, just sat here next to a city. You can see the coverage goes over a good portion of the city. And if we look at the city, we can see that the city provides quite a lot of passengers. But it also provides mail. And if we look at the cargo payment rates, and you compare passengers to mail, you can see that mail pays a good chunk more than passengers. All you've got to do is stick a few mail vans on your trains, and you're going to make more money. Why wouldn't you do that? That was a silly how did I forget? I'm a complete wally. And finally at number 10, we've got that train crash.
It was a good time. It was a good time. But
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
no, it was good. But I like the idea of YouTube more. Oh, you said
$10.
That's embarrassing.
Oh,
was that on your
dearie
track?
dear.
That was me.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Hellish crashed.
Clip it.
Let it be known.
Let it never live it down.
I need to make a 30-minute video of all the mistakes Hellish did.
All the
and
mistakes
it's just
Master
that
Hellish
one.
did in the lead up to this.
It's just that one, and the misplanning of how many vehicles you could have.
Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna
You know
publish
what?
it.
I will do that. I will make a video of this stream and all the mistakes I made in it. I will do that. And so I did, and there we have it. It was fantastic to play in the stream, and it was really challenging to do so with so many people in there, and also with some different game settings I'm not used to too. If you haven't seen Spiff's stream already, I suggest you go check it out. The link, of course, is in the video description. I feel that maybe at some point in the future we need to have a head-to-head between me and Spiff in a game where we're not trying to break OpenTTD. A head-to-head involving Spiffco and Hellish Inc. What do you think? Let me know about that down in the comments, along with any other thoughts, ideas or questions you may have. And now for that treat that I promised at the beginning of the video. I have a second part to this. It's unlisted, so you have to have the link to go check it out. And the link for that is in the video description. I'm going to play against myself from Spiff's stream, keeping all of the points that I've raised today in mind to see if I can do better and how much better. So check that video out to see how much changing the playstyle based on the things I've mentioned actually improves the amount of money I make in the same amount of time. And finally, a thanks to Spiff for putting on a fantastic OpenTTD event and inviting me along to come and join in. I really enjoyed it. And there we go. Thank you very much for watching, everybody, and until I see you next time, goodbye.